Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. So let's go back to our travel app which we are working right now, and we will implement this context API, the context API which we have learned it. So we'll try to implement that context API right now. So let's go to here app.jsx which we are having. So here we are having this all the code, right? So right now we are sending only the two props, that is nothing but cities and also the loading. So we can create a context for this one, and let's create the separate context for this one. And here let's go into here, and I am creating a new folder that is nothing but context. And in this context I am creating a new file that is nothing but city context.jsx. Okay, so I am creating it like this. Now for here in this one, what we need to do first, we need to create the city context. So city context, I will be using the create context API. So this should be imported from the React, and I am giving the default value as null. If you are having any default values, you can send it. And another one, we need to create the custom provider. So export constant city provider is equal to, it's a method. So now here I need to return city context dot provider. Okay, we need to provide the values for this one, and here I need to get the children. So children, and here I can use directly the children. That's it. Now we need to provide the values, right? So in app.jsx, this is the code whichever is having this all the state. So we can copy this entire thing and I can write it here. So I have written it here in this one. Now I have used it here in the cities and all the things. Now we need to import this use state, that is nothing but from the React and also use effect also needs to be imported. So whatever the code it is there, so that is URL and all the things you are using. Now we need to create the, now we are having only two values, right? Cities and the loading. So let's try to send the cities and the loading. Value is equal to, I am preparing the object here only, cities and the loading. Okay. So now we have created this all the code, and now here we are having this app.jsx, and in this one we need to provide this city provider. So here I can write something like city provider. It should be imported from the context. So this spelling mistake. So context. Okay. Now I am closing this one. So here at the end I will close this one. So that's it. So now we have provided the city provider. Now what I need to do here? So I need to there is no need for sending these props and all those things, so we can remove these props. Why? Because we need to consume it through the context. So now this is how we will be providing it. Now what we have did it, so now we have created a city context, and the children is nothing but whatever I need to tell. So here whatever the HTML is there, everything will be replaced in this children. So that is the use of this children. We have discussed this one in our previous videos. In our starting videos we have discussed about this children concept. And now this is our cities URL and fetch cities. This common code, whatever the code we are having, these all the things we have prepared it, and we are having the cities context dot provider, and we are sending the values. Now we have provided the context details. Now it's time for us to consume the context. So where we need to consume the context, that is nothing but in the cities list and also in the country list. So these are the two places where we need to consume the context. So what we need to do, let's go to the cities list. So in this cities list, what we have did it, so there is no need of props. Right now we are not sending any props, so there is no need of props, and there is no need for writing the prop types also, everything gone. And the loading and the cities, these are the data which we need to get it from the context. So in order to get it from the context, what we need to do, we need to create a custom hook. So here I will be creating export constant use city is equal to, this is the method, and here I will create the context is equal to use context. This I need to provide this city context here in this one. That's it. And now if context is not there means, then if context is not there, so that means if you are mentioning if you are trying to use this context outside the provider means, then we can throw an error, throw new error of, so city context is used outside the provider. So we can do it like this. Now otherwise if nothing is there means you can return the context. That's it. So now you can return the context. Sorry, it's not content, it's a context. That's it. So now we got the use city custom hook. Now what I can do is, let's go to the cities list, and here what I can do is here, so constant, so we need to get the cities and the loading is equal to use city. So you can use it directly like this, use city, and it should be imported from the context. Now see, immediately we got the data. Now in the same scenario we have now if you try to see the inspect element, and if you see the components and all those things. Oh, right now we don't have any components. Let's try to refresh this page again. Inspect element. I don't know whether we can get the components list or not. Yeah, now we got the components. Now if you try to see here, this is our city provider, and this city provider will have the state, that is nothing but the loading and all those things. And now here let's go into our cities list, and in this cities list, so you are able to access this data. So if you try to see here, so now we are able to access this city. This is the context, and we are able to access this data. So like this we will be using like this the context API will be used. Now another one is the countries. So in the countries we are getting an empty, that is nothing but cannot read properties of undefined. So now here we are getting an error. So now what we need to do, let's go to the countries list also, country list, and here we can remove the prop types, and also we can remove these props. And now we got the context, that is nothing but constant city comma cities comma loading is equal to use city. So I will be using this use city. Now we got the data. Now we are able to see this countries list also. Now here we are able to get this one all. Now if you try to see, if I refresh this page, so now we are not able to see any error. Now cities and countries, both the things we are coming from the context API. So this is how we will be creating the context API in the real-time application. Now if you want to see this error means, so for example let's say that here I will try to do some mistake, and if you try to see same thing, I will try to add it now, or otherwise I will remove this city provider, then we will be able to see it very easily, I think. Let's try to implement this one, we'll see. See, now here you will be able to see an error that city context is used outside the provider. So that means we are trying to use the city context outside the provider. So that means we need to add the provider. So if there is any component or anything, if you are trying to use it outside the city, with the component which is present outside the city provider means you will be able to get this type of error. So that's it guys about the city concept. So now we have converted all our cities list to the context API. What I will try to do is I will commit this code in a new branch, that is nothing but video-136. So if you want to refer this code means the GitHub repository URL is provided in the description below. So you can have a take a look at that one. And cities list context, this one is, and let's commit this code. So you can clone this all GitHub repository URL, and you can have this code. So that's it guys about this one. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.